There we go. All great people in Columbia and those people that might be listening via other ways. Oh my goodness, it looks like something happened with the Rumbly stream. I tell you what, this not having your own engineering staff, or worse, me being the engineering staff, creates a whole bunch of its own set of problems, and it looks like everything's going. So we're on the Rumble, we're on the Book of Faces, we're on YouTube, we're on X. Live viewer is not available for X. Okay, that's okay, but we're on there. It's actually going. Goodness, telephone number here is 803-799-8255. That's 799 talk on the Grouch's Deli in studio hotline. Was here on Wednesday, and that was a lot of fun. Was here on the previous Wednesday, and that too was a lot of fun. And we'll be back for one more Wednesday. That's right. So coming up this week, I'll be doing the afternoon drive again on Wednesday. So that ought to be lots and lots of fun. Crazy meeting deal. Had South Carolina meeting this week. So that was no, and our friend David, no MySpace. We're not on MySpace. I was on every once in a while. I used to be ages and ages ago. There was a site called Live Journal. I think that's right, Live Journal. And it was a pretty adult, and I don't mean like nasty, but it was a pretty, hey, these people are realistic folks. It wasn't a child's thing. It wasn't a lot of the drama that was associated with some of these other places. It wasn't there. How about on a bulletin board? And so something that some of you know, and most of you do not, I used to run a computer bulletin board back when I was in high school, and then the whole time I was at Clemson Strong World University, and then I ran a multi-line bulletin board because I had a job and a little bit of money after that. And then all of a sudden, the numbers started going away. And then a couple weeks after that, there was no reason for the multi-lines, that everything had changed and people were no longer using modems to connect to information services. But yeah, what a great, so COSMEDRONBBS. You can search for that and find out some stuff there. Or ICQ. I remember ICQ. ICQ was sort of fun. Met a lot of, when I was in professional school, met a lot of crazy folks on ICQ. So that was sort of neat. Goodness, the other ones, and again, we've got some interaction on the, which side is that? I guess that is Facebook side. Is that right? Yeah, that's Facebook side. I've got all these screens too. And before that was IRC, which was Internet Relay Chat. And a buddy of mine, an ancient, when I say ancient, he's the same age as me now, but a friend of mine from first grade, we were at Clemson Strong World University together, and he goes, "Hey, have you heard about this IRC thing?" And I said, "No, I haven't. What is this?" And he said, "Oh, it's sort of like a bulletin board thing. It's oh, that's funny. It's sort of like a bulletin board, except you can talk to people all over the world." And I'm like, "Oh, show me how it works." So I went to a computer thing in the library, and he showed me how it worked. And then all of a sudden, he had logged in with some sort of account that he had, and it showed all the people that he had been talking to for all over the planet. I'm like, "Oh, that's sort of cool." And I think that could be a really good thing. It's really hard to hate people when you know what they look like, and you know what kind of food they eat, and you know where they're going to school, and you have a connection with them. And that's funny. That is funny. So our friend has posting that he used to download the program on LimeWire. And what there was other ones too. Napster, of course, was a big one. LimeWire was one. And then, of course, now it's all torrents, and there's even torrents on the dark web where they sell your credit card information. So this computer thing, like everything, is a mixed bag. It can be great. It can heal a nation. It can make the world better. It can do all this great stuff to allow you and this is, I'll give you an example. So today at church, we had an event. My youngest daughter had an event, and she was being celebrated there. So we took a bunch of pictures, and I was able to send them out instantaneously to other people in the audience within moments of taking them. That's a thing this electronic world has given us, which is awesome. But it's also allowed people to creep in to your private space, people that have access to you and access to your husband and wife and children and all that stuff. So that can be crazy narrative. And I can double up here. So I have I was at an event. I was at a conference, and I got a call from a patient of mine. And the patient was telling me some stuff that was happening, and I'm like, "That's not real." And it was she's being pursued by this general of some sort in a far off land, some character claiming to be an American general stationed abroad. But we'll be right back after this. 803-799-8255, 799-TALK on the Groucho's Deli in-studio hotline.
Hey, I'm State Representative Chris Wooten.
And I'm State Representative Micah Cassidy.
Join us on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. on The Rep.
We'll talk about everything that's happening at the State House and give you an insider's perspective.
All from the General Assembly. So join us at 9 a.m. on The Point, 100.7 FM or 1470 a.m.
Hey, it's Kev. I'm hanging out with Ken, the owner of Broker Solar, a local company. Now, Ken, I know you have some solar pet peeves. These national guys, they're just not very honest.
One of the common myths in the solar industry is that you can get solar for free or some kind of government-paid solar, and that's simply not the truth. But what you can get is a solid investment that has tax credits that will pay you back for years to come. That's one of the things that we promote at Broker Solar is proper education in what solar is and how you can take advantage of the incentives that are out there, local and federal.
Tell me more about these tax credits.
There's currently a huge federal tax credit that gets you a third of the system cost back. And on top of that, the state of South Carolina, we're lucky enough to have an extra 25% of that solar system cost come back to you in the form of tax credits, totaling for a 55% discount on your solar system back in tax credits.
Call Broker Solar. Call them now, 803-807-7417 or online, brokersolar.com.
Are you looking for free checking and free savings? Dave Ramsey here, telling you to go see my friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union. They're not a mega bank that's so big they lose the ability to treat you like a human being. At Palmetto Citizens, you're not just a number, you're a member. Join today at any of their 14 locations or at palmettocitizens.org. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Hi, this is Chris Neely, Superintendent of the South Carolina Public Charter School District. I hope you can join me each Tuesday afternoon for Breakfast First, where we talk about educational issues and what we're doing to teach kids the right way. It's Kids First, Tuesday at 5:30, right here on 100.7 The Point.
executive, if you believe that he now has prostate cancer that has metastasized to his bones. Wow. So that's so if you've got some extra prayers available for that chief executive, go ahead and throw them that way. That's not a good thing. And if you're a guy and you live long enough, that's likely something that you are going to have to deal with. And that is definitely no fun. But we're going to jump right to the phones and say, hey, caller, how are you?
Hey, Dr. Gene, how you been?
Pretty good. What's going on there, Van Man? Van the man we call Van?
I'm all right. I'm in my little office in the garage here. If you hear a bit lawnmower, the guy just started cutting his lawn right
Of
when I
course,
called you.
of course. For me, it'd be the backpack leaf blower. That's who'd be outside my door.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's coming next.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's one of those things. And this is one of the crazy things. You know, communist California wants to outlaw all the small engines and stuff. And of course, they want to do it because they're communists and hate dinosaur juice and hate people having power and the ability to do their own things.
They do.
And that's one reason they want to cripple your car so you can't pull a boat, so you can't pull a thing of jet skis, so you can't have fun with your family, so none of your body and your family except you because of your age can water ski, stuff like that. They want to destroy. That's another thing. You know, like money can't buy you happiness. Yeah, but it can buy you a jet ski, and you've never seen a sad person on a jet ski.
No, and I used to live in Florida, man.
Yeah.
I've been on it. I've rented one before. They're fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like 0 to 90 in 6 minutes. Amazingly powerful, and no brakes. The brakes, you know, all curves and no brakes.
Forgot about it. Oh, I forgot about it. Yeah, you forget about it when you're out there. Those things roll. But in California, we talked about that a bunch of times. Yeah.
Here's the thing. The only good thing is they're going to have these electric ones. So instead of you're going to hear
yeah,
and that there might be some
brownout.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You have to have extra batteries because you can only charge them up during low power situations.
Well, that was a few years ago. I thought they passed that law.
Oh, they might have. You know, commie's going to commie. Bothers me, Van, because I do some workout in California, so I'm a California taxpayer, and you know, it's just waste and craziness. Wasted, like I wonder if we had a $50 billion state budget, if we could mess it up. And what would be the way to mess it up? That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and, even though the great state of California was never a slave state, we're going to go give reparations to people. State reparations for a state that was never a slave state to people that were never slaves.
Man, he created that.
Yeah.
You got to remember that dude was he was the mayor of San Francisco before he was the governor.
Right.
And he's a scum. He is a new scum. That guy. I didn't call to talk about California.
We get to talk most of the time. Last November, I was in Southern California at the Southern California Institute of Health Sciences. I had to give a test out there. And that was great. I mean, it was great. A wonderful facility and better people, much better people than I could have imagined. But normally I do all my stuff in Northern California. Northern California is a paradise carved out of God's mind. It's stunningly beautiful. But they've ruined it with the politics. So do you remember when Xi Jinping came to visit and Newsom cleaned up both Los Angeles and San Francisco and made a whole bunch of stuff much better, but he wouldn't do it for his own people.
But the media was, they didn't, you only heard it on conservative media. You didn't hear it anywhere else.
Well, that's when you only hear anything of consequences on conservative
media. The media's dead. I've heard some other, and it's true. The legacy media, they're in the toilet. And these younger generation, they don't trust them, which is a good thing. But yeah, California. The thing I'm irking me a little bit, this Biden thing. Because I called you all through his presidency, and we both would agree on this is horrible. This guy can't do this. And now they're slipping out. Everyone who wants to sell a book, now they're saying, oh, it's just to sell books. And Biden, I don't care if he doesn't know what's going on right now and he has dementia. He was a criminal for like 50 years.
Yeah,
man. And his son is an adult who did a lot of crimes too, and his brother, blah, blah, blah. And that's just going to get flushed. And, and Fauci's going to skate. And
I don't know about Fauci. I don't know about Fauci. I think laying the thing that the auto-pinned pardons are invalid.
Yeah.
I think that's creating a legal argument out of whole cloth, and I think there's some reception to it. Other people are going, clearly the guy didn't know what he was doing.
Signing that stuff, come on, man. There was some computer pen signing it. Hey, the lawyers could swear. We got other things to spend money on. I know that. And, but, all the money they spend trying to put Trump in jail for 1,000 years. And, that's what he was looking at, like 700 years or something at one point.
Yeah, and tried to force the sale of his buildings in New York,
Yeah.
all this stuff. Oh, well, Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. And then there's this one rock star South Florida real estate agent. She said, 18 million, try $1.5 billion. And then she started pulling, then he started pulling comps that a place that's a fifth the size of, it's just a lot, sold for like $28 million, while Letitia, the big Tish, was going after Trump. And it looks like
getting nailed for fraud too.
Yeah, but
that's good. And no, that's what it's some face called karma, but in the scripture you sow,
right?
Okay, and it's coming back at her pretty quick. I don't feel sorry for her because I didn't have a video then, but I saw videos when Trump had to sit in court all summer. Remember that before this election? And it was a joke. She was there the whole time.
Yeah,
woman, you got things to do. You just what are you doing sitting in court all day? But smirking at Trump and scowling at Trump. I never saw those pictures before, and it was disgusting.
Yeah, they're there. They're there. Well, look, she pretended like her dad was her husband.
Wait a minute, total fraud. Yeah.
Well,
I did that, man. We get nailed.
Well, here's the other total fraud. She claimed the address in Virginia as her home address, which undoes her ability to serve as Attorney General of the state of New York. So
and she's still lying about it.
Yeah. So
they just talked to her the other day, and she's still saying, "No, I'm from Brooklyn. That's why our son." I don't know. Well, wait a minute. The FBI might nail her. I don't know. We don't need to spend money on
I think Governor Hochul ought to suspend her. Governor Hochul should say, "Hey, clearly, this is an issue."
Well, if they prove that she's committed real estate fraud like that, she would be disbarred. Any other lawyer would.
Well, here's the
that's a felonious. You get disbarred.
Well, here's the other thing, Van, and this goes. We've got Big Tish in Manhattan, but we also got Old Fat Fanny in Atlanta. And I tell you what, if I was a member of the tort bar, if I was a member of the criminal defense bar, and I had lost a case to Gorilla Grip Fanny, I would be. You know where that comes from? I would. That was she had another word in there, but that was the name of her Bluetooth speaker in her.
I didn't know where that
office.
came from.
Yeah, that's where that comes from. So that's what we're dealing with. Well, anyway, big old Fanny. I would appeal it. I would anything that was iffy, a traffic violation. Whoa, clearly, the Attorney General is corrupt. Clearly, you can't trust anything or anything she put in evidence. Clearly, she's a crook.
Well, didn't they just basically throw that out? Isn't it like dead? The thing in Atlanta, but they got Giuliani and all those other people got caught in that mess.
That's why you can never plea with these people. You can never accept. You've got to fight to the end.
Especially, that's it's just so. I'm still very optimistic, and I'm really happy the guy, stuck it out and won again, man. And but it was. People are griping about this plane and everything, and I do see one point. Okay, yeah, the Saudis, a bunch of them were the terrorists who blew up our, who did that 9/11, man. But okay, Trump take the plane, but he's not making it. I don't think he's gonna make any money on the plane. It's for America, and here's a Trump. I got to make this point. And people don't remember this about him. He doesn't take a salary. He takes it, but he donates it. He was the last president to do that was JFK. The rest of them, they take that half. It's like $400,000 or $500,000 or something. They'll take it.
Yeah.
And goodwill butthead Biden did.
Well, here's a question. Here's a question for you, Van, and that is, what is Trump going to do with a flying palace in the sky? It's not like he's already got one for his office and another private one with his name on the side.
Yeah. He's got a big private one. He's got little ones too,
Yep, he has to. You got to have the little ones.
Man.
All right, so hold on, Van. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. Van, the man, but you can be the next caller, 803-799-8255.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. Joe Biden diagnosed with prostate cancer. Spokesman says the former president's cancer cells have spread to the bone, but the office adds the malignancy appears to be hormone sensitive, and that does allow for effective management. Officials say the person believed responsible for that blast at a California fertility clinic yesterday, identified as 25-year-old Guy Edward Bartkus. He had posted online a number of things, including a belief the world should not be populated. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky meeting with top U.S. and European officials in Rome. It's all part of intensified diplomacy ahead of a key phone call that is coming up tomorrow between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. 17 family members killed in a fire in India. 8 of the victims were little kids. This is SRN News.
People hear me talking about Broker Solar and how much I like Ken and his team. They ask, hey, can I really trust this guy, Kev? Let me tell you 2 things. Number 1, Ken and Broker Solar are legit. I've known Ken's family for 20 plus years. Seriously, these are local, ethical people. They're not going anywhere, and they do things the right way. Number 2, Broker Solar is so different than these stereotypes we've heard about in the solar industry. There's no signs on the yard making stupid promises they can't keep. There's no door knockers trying to pressure you at your own door. Ken and Broker Solar will tell you the truth, what it'll cost, and how your solar power investment will pay off. See, we can't pick our power companies. Broker Solar gives you a chance to take some control over your power bill, and I like that, and so should you. Online, it's brokersolar.com, and seriously, reach out to Ken and these folks. It could really make a difference in your quality of life. Brokersolar.com, empowering you so you're not powerless.
London calling. London calling. London calling. Summer's doing it. The wheat is worth it. But no fair. Live by the river.
And we're going back to our friend Van. Thanks for holding on, Van.
Hey, that's all right. If you got other callers, man, I can roll out. But
No, we're waiting on them. We're waiting on you to tease them in there, Van.
Yeah. Well, yeah, call on in because I've been listening. I haven't been calling in a lot because like I said, I'm a lot more optimistic. I don't sweat it. Those last 4 years, that was bad.
Oh, yeah,
That
it was a
horrible.
nightmare every day. A nightmare every day.
And our else they just keep. Yeah, now I'm glad. It's funny that they get the press is getting busted out and the whole administration is getting busted out. But it's just.
But evidently, Jake Tapeworm has a book out where he basically says what we were saying. Yeah, the guy's off his rocker. The guy doesn't know anything. And then
I remember calling you, Dr. Gene, right when he got elected, and he went over to Europe or something, and he was like just blah. Then it was like and we're like, this is bad. This dude is horrible, and it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And it is. It's bigger than Watergate.
Oh gosh!
Well, I remember Nixon didn't even know about Watergate till they. What did you idiots do? He didn't know what they were doing.
Well, this is a crazy thing, and I want you to think about this. Nixon was the first American president to be defeated by the deep state without the use of a rifle. Remember, he won every state.
I read about Nixon.
He ran. He won every state. He won California. He won New York. He was the most popular American president in the history. I mean, like George Washington was iffy when he defeated McGovern. It was a slam dunk. I was
a little kid, but I remember.
So he must be destroyed, and they destroyed it.
Yeah, he was. He got such a horrible reputation, but he was a patriot, a war hero, and he was. Kennedy, JFK, and his dad stole that election with Illinois and West Virginia in 1960. Nixon Nixon's aides were like, "Hey, we could fight this," and he goes, "No, it'll be bad for the country."
Yep. What a real guy! What a real guy! Our smartest American president.
Happened, man. Those guys, they did that burglary on the Democrats that wanted their office. Nixon didn't know what happened until afterwards. But then you hear the tapes and Nixon's like bawling him out. You stupid, blah, blah, blah. What did you do?
Well, here's something I want you to think about, Van. What was the name of the Watergate burglars? They had a name.
The one bald guy, Getty. No, not.
Well, they were called
his advisor was Haldeman, who knew about it, but Nixon didn't.
But they were called the plumbers.
Liddy was one.
Right, G. Gordon Liddy. They were called the plumbers. And what do plumbers do?
Well, they clean the pipe.
They stop leaks. They stop leaks. That's what it was about. That's what it was really all about. Was the Pentagon papers had just come out, and the Supreme Court had ruled that they were able to publish them, and so that created a horrible problem within the. That created a horrible problem with the administration. So they sent those people in there to find out who was leaking from the administration to the New York Times.
Oh yeah.
And so there was a function. And remember, we were in the middle of a hot and bloody Cold War. We ultimately killed something like 58,000 Americans in Indochina. And so, it's sort of a big deal.
When you look at it, and Nixon stopped that war, basically. He wound it down, that Cambodia thing. But look, it's harder to stop a war than to start one.
Yeah.
And you got to
look at us now. Look how hard we're working now to do that.
Well, and you got to remember back then, the times too. There was a guy named Lyndon Johnson who was a scumbag, racist pig, and he's the one who gave his oil buddies that war. He handed it to them. Okay, and I know about that through history. I just can't articulate it when I'm sitting here talking to a gadget. But no, I don't know it all because I wasn't there. But that time of history, I was alive. I was like 10, 11, 12. And I remember all those names. And I just think Nixon kind of got a bad rap. Now, people can call in and say, Van's nuts. I've heard it before.
No, Nixon was great. Nixon was great.
The poor guy, and Johnson compare, and they think Johnson did all this civil rights crap. Man, the Republicans got all that through,
right?
Okay, and Johnson also had people killed. He had people with his own family killed down in Texas when he's
it's bizarre. So do you remember when Darth Cheney became vice president and they said, "Oh, great, we got the head of Halliburton being." Do you know who one of the major shareholders in Halliburton was?
Tell me now.
Lady Bird Johnson, because she owned a big piece of KBR, Kellogg, Brown, and Root, and then that got gobbled up by Halliburton.
Yeah, she lived a good long life.
Yeah,
I think
she's the crap that she had to go through. She deserved a break.
Oh, she was married to
a monster. A monster.
Yeah, he had dignitaries around it, and he'd pick expel gas. Well, he was a filthy guy.
Yeah.
He'd talk on the phone sitting on the toilet, and people would be standing. He was just that's his personal habit, but also he was I don't know. Nothing good to say about Johnson. I didn't know the guy, but yeah, he passed in 70. And Lady Bird, he passed like 10 years ago or something.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, but that's all that old Texas oil.
Isn't enough not to. Remember it, William Jefferson, Blythe, Clinton, and Barack Obama, who cut their own take the shot COVID ad. So they're doubly evil. Evil on their face, evil to people around the world, and evil to the American people.
Yeah, there's great things about capitalism. It's the best. There's also that become greed.
In a lot of DC areas. Now, I've been to Los Angeles.
Yes, but not very. I was only there